After those 3 breaths, all you're going to do is stand right back up. As soon as you stand up, you're going to switch. We're going to go left foot forward, right foot back. Again, feet are in the same line. Pay attention to the details here. The chest remains tall, the chin back. You're reaching the arms straight up in the air. As those arms reach up, you're actively trying to push higher every time you breathe in. It should lift your torso and actually start to tighten your abdomen a little bit as you reach up. Again, you're reaching straight towards the ceiling as high as you can. Every time you breathe in, you're getting taller until you start to tremble just a little bit here. Bring those arms down, stand straight up, shake the shoulders out just for a moment. We're now going to go into a wide leg founder. This is a very strong position. So your legs are at least 3 feet apart. Don't try to do a split. We don't need to go there. Just a nice sturdy base. Feet are facing forward, chin is back, chest is broad. From here, again, the first part of the motion is that big breath to take your torso up, and then before you exhale, the hips pull back behind you. Just like in the narrow founder, you are not having your knees come forward. You're pulling your hips back and away from the heels with your weight in the heels. Go ahead and open up your chest just a little bit more and try to turn your thumbs out into external rotation, away from the body just a little bit, to further stretch the chest out. Pull the chin back, give me 2 more very deep breaths, taking the entire torso up. You're not just hyperextending when you breathe in. You're going to a very strong position and lifting the front and the back of the torso straight up as you inhale. Your goal as you exhale is to support that height as well as possible. The weight is back on the heels. You're engaging the posterior chain, the hamstrings, the butt muscles, and the lower back. You're keeping the chin back and you're just breathing in this powerful position. Don't crane your neck up. Don't try to look down. Just a very stable, strong torso. Go ahead and slowly bring the arms all the way up in the air as high as you can. As the arms come up, you'll be able to pull the hips back just a little bit more. We're talking an inch or so here, just a little bit. Give me 1 or 2 really deep, strong breaths there. Again, expanding the torso, pulling the hips back away from you and really lifting the arms away. Make yourself as long as possible in this position and make sure the weight's back on the heels. That's a very important cue. 1 last breath in, and as you exhale, you're going to press your heels into the ground and stand up. We're going to repeat that exact same series 2 more times. So let's go hip width founder. We're going to ingrain this stuff. Chest up, chin back, broad chest. The movement begins with a breath. Take your torso up as big as you can. It's a very important thing to learn. As you're breathing up, you're going to start hinging your hips back until you can feel lower back tension, hamstring tension, and maybe a little bit of butt muscle tension. You might not be there yet. From here, you're going to slowly bring the arms forward. And you'll notice, again, watch their hips move as their arms come forward. Dustin, do that 1 more time for me. Notice how Dustin's hips pull back as his hands counterbalance forward. It's a very important part of this. The knees don't come forward, the weight is driven straight through the heels, and your torso and chest are big and strong. From here, you're going to lift the arms as high as you can for a big breath, all the way in. Expand your chest as much as you can, and as you exhale, don't let it collapse at all. After that breath, go ahead and press your heels into the ground and stand up. We're going to go right foot forward, left foot back. So we're not doing any tricks here, just nice stable stance, either a shorter stance or a longer stance. They're both fine. Your back heel should be coming up off the ground just a little bit. You shouldn't be able to just flatten your heel on the ground. If you can, just press up about 2 inches. That's going to put a lot more tension in the back leg. Lift the arms as high as you can. There's no hip movement here. There's no other movement in this position other than breathing as high as humanly possible. You're constantly trying to make your torso longer. You're constantly pulling the arms up and pressing the feet very firmly into the ground. After about 1 more breath, reaching as high as you can, really push for a couple seconds here. You're just going to bring the arms down, and we're going to switch right into the left foot forward, right foot back. If you get a little bit of a side-to-side wobble in this position, it can be kind of hard to hold a lunge like this. You can separate your feet width-wise, but you can't turn them out. Your hips must remain square, your feet must remain in the same position. Arms up, reach as high as possible. On this breath, we're going to add 1 more little layer. As you breathe your chest up, decompressing, you're going to exhale by pulling your belly button straight back away from your waistband, trying to hollow out your stomach while remaining as tall as humanly possible here. So 1 more forceful breath. Breathe up, and as you exhale, Keep the height as much as you can by tightening up the abdomen. Once you've done that, go ahead and let your arms drop, stand all the way up, and we're going to go into the wide leg founder. Try to push it just a little bit more this round, a little bit wider than you did last time. The weight immediately goes back to the heels. The feet are straight ahead in the same direction. Your torso is very broad, your chin is back. So again, very important, you're not pulling your head back like this, and you're certainly not pulling your chin down to your chest. You're just pulling straight back, just like these guys are. From that position, you're going to pull the hips a little bit tighter, trying to access the hamstrings. As the hips hinge back, you're going to notice you can start to feel the hamstrings begin to stretch a bit better. Weight back on the heels, chin back, chest up, slowly begin bringing the arms forward. Pay attention to that counterbalance. As soon as the arms cross that plane of the hips, you're going to start pulling the hips back to allow your body to counterbalance itself more effectively. You should have a lot of strain at your lower back at this point. Your glutes should be starting to fire a bit more, and even the front of your neck muscles should be getting a little bit fatigued. You're going to lift the arms as high as you can and take 2 solid decompression breaths in this position. The arms are reaching up and away from your hips as if the hands and hip joint are pulling away from each other as hard as possible, making your torso very long, while your weight is supported directly through the heels, the lower back, the hamstrings, and the glutes. One more big breath in. As you exhale, bring the arms back behind you, press the heels into the ground, stand all the way up. We're going to go one more round. Let's go into a hip width founder. Broad chest. The focus on this round is going to be broadening and widening the chest. So from here, we're going to start by externally rotating. It's really simple. Make a shaka sign like they do in Hawaii. Point your thumb away from you, and with those pinky and thumb spreading, spread the rest of the fingers away, opening your palm as much as possible while you unscrew the shoulders away from the torso. You're going to get a lot of tension right along the back side of your shoulders here, right kind of on the outsides of the shoulder blades if you're doing this correctly. Pull the chin back, big breath in. Apply that decompression here. As you exhale, keep your torso broad and your stomach tight. Bring the arms all the way up as high as you can. This time we're going to add a little bit more of a reach here. You're pulling your hips very far back, and you're reaching the hands as far forward as you can. So less up, more away from you. In this position, take one more forceful breath. You should be shaking pretty well at this point. Slowly bring those arms back behind you. Let's go right back into that external rotation. So spread the fingers as much as you can and turn the hands away from you. Open this. You should feel a nice stretch go right across the upper chest here if you're doing this right. A lot of burning in the lower back. Press the heels into the ground. Stand all the way up. Let's go right foot forward, left foot back. Feet are in the same line for the lunge decompression. Make sure that back foot is not flat on the ground. Press the heel up just a little bit. Reach the hands straight up in the air. In this position, you can start to look up just a little bit if you want to, but don't hyperextend your neck. Don't reach your nose up to your hands. You're not trying to do that on this one. Just stand as tall as you can, and I want you to start breathing into the back of your rib cage here. So you're trying to inflate the upper back with your breaths as you're taking them in, and you're trying to support the torso as high as possible as you exhale. Give me one more forceful breath in this position. Really elevate the torso as big as you can. You should be shaking pretty well when you do that elevation. Try not to let it drop even slightly as you're exhaling, and then drop the arms. Stand all the way up, and let's go left foot forward, right foot back. Reach up as high as you can. Remember, those fingers are touching. You're not smashing your hand together like this. The fingertips are just touching, making a sphere. Reach up as high as possible. Pull the chin back just a little bit more, and give me 3 big deep breaths, expanding the rib cage, lifting straight up towards the ceiling as if your arms are being pushed up from below, not pulled up from above. Press the feet into the ground very hard here. And again, as you exhale, you're pulling the stomach straight back from the waistband. That's going to allow you to stay a lot taller, and it's going to make the exercise quite a bit harder. Bring the arms down, stand all the way up, shake that off for a moment. Let's go into the last wide leg founder. Try to push it just a little bit here. This exercise does not start until 2 things happen. First, breathe up. Second, hinge the hips first. The knees bend second. Press your heels into the ground. The weight is driven straight through the heels. The lower back should be fried at this point. We want those muscles burning. That's the only way they're going to get stronger. Pull the chin back. give me a very forceful deep breath, expanding the rib cage as big as possible. You're going to turn the hands out, unscrewing the shoulders, and this time I want you to apply just a little bit of pressure, squeezing the elbows against the torso to engage the lats a bit more. Pull the chin back, give me one big forceful breath into the rib cage. As you exhale, you're going to bring the arms all the way up, and again, counterbalance as the arms come up. Make sure that hip is giving a little bit to allow your butt to go back as your arms reach forward and then up. Weights back on the heels, body is shaking, torso is strong, and your breaths are going directly into your rib cage. They're not going into your belly. You're breathing into the rib cage where the lungs are housed. From here, one more forceful breath as big as you can. Slowly on the exhale, bring those arms back behind you. Open the hands away from each other, spread the fingers, press the heels into the ground, and stand up. I want you to practice that series as often as you can. It's one of the best things you can do for your health. Now we're going to practice the woodpecker, lunge, woodpecker with ankle pulses, and lunge with ankle pulses. Let's get right into it with a woodpecker. Right foot forward, left foot back. Let's do a nice long stance. Make sure your feet are facing the same direction and stand really tall here. Press your feet into the ground. Lift up your torso. We're going to open up the shoulders immediately and spread the thumbs away from the hips. From this position, we're going right into that woodpecker, hinging the right hip, pressing the chest forward. Make sure the knee does not come forward as you press your chest forward. It's a very different exercise if you do that. The weight is primarily through the right heel. The chest is up, the arms are open, and from here we're simply going to add counterbalance, reaching the hands forward. As the hands reach forward, give them a little bit of an extra push. Start taking your chest a little bit further forward. Try to really feel that back hamstring, glute and lower back on the right leg supporting your entire body weight here. From this position, you're going to bring the arms right back behind you. You're going to take your chest straight over your hips so you're standing straight up in a lunge position and reach the arms straight up in the air. We're going to add a little bit of decompression to this by breathing. Breathe very big into the torso, expanding the upper rib cage as much as you can, reaching the hands as high as possible. Picture me standing with my hand about 1 inch above your hands constantly. You're never able to actually get it. Keep getting taller. As you breathe in, expand the rib cage. As you breathe out, don't let the rib cage drop. Keep doing that a couple different times. From here, we're going to go right into a woodpecker with a little bit of ankle movement, a little bit of pulse back there. You're going to bring the arms down, open up the shoulders, push that weight into the right heel as you press your chest up and forward, making sure that front knee does not come forward at all. From this position, you're going to reach the arms forward, applying that counterbalance. Now we're going to add leverage to the right heel, hamstring, glute, and lower back by pressing up on the back ankle, taking you further over that right heel. You're going to hold this. It should get pretty tight in the lower back here, and just hold it for about 5 seconds. Really try to reach your hands forward and your whole torso forward as far as you can. No spine bending whatsoever in this position. Bring the arms right back behind you. Press the heel back behind you. You're going to reach the arms straight up in the air. Reach as high as possible. Reach, 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 reach as high as you can get. From there, you're going to start pulsing that back heel about 5 times up and down. Very slow movement, very controlled movement. Same speed up, same speed down. Same speed up, same speed down. After you've done about 5, bring the arms down and just go ahead and stand up. Let's go right into that with the left leg. Left leg forward, right leg back, feet in the same line. Nice, really strong stance. Gravity's pushing you down all the time. Push right back up. Open up the chest, open up the shoulders. Think of spreading the shoulders away from each other, elongating your chest while you elongate your torso. You're going to hinge over that left hip. Most of the weight is driven through the left heel. Chest is going to come forward. You're not going to crane your neck like this. Try to avoid that. It's very important. Lead with your chest, not with your chin. From this position, counterbalance, bringing those arms forward. You're going to hold this position, just staying really tight on the left lower back, glute and hamstring, about 5 seconds or so. As you bring the arms back behind you, you're going to turn the thumbs out away from you, spread the fingers nice and wide, activate those forearm and hand muscles. Come back to the center, reach the arms straight up in the air. You're going to reach up as high as possible here. Up, 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 as high as you can go. Perfect. You're going to bring the arms right back down. We're going to add a little bit of pulse here now with the woodpecker, so we're going right back into that woodpecker. Load the left heel, bring the chest forward, find that tension at the left lower back, glute, and hamstring. From here, counterbalance, bringing the arms forward. Once you have that tension held in the posterior chain on that left side, press all the way up on that back ankle, taking your weight further over, adding leverage to the posterior chain on the supported side, the left side. From this position, we're going to add 5 actual pulses on that back ankle. So increase the leverage by pressing up, decrease the leverage by pressing down. Perfect. Increase by pressing up, decrease by pressing down, and really start to control that. After you've done this a handful of times, you'll be very surprised how much control you get over where your body holds its tension. After 5 of those, press the heel back, bring the arms down. Expand the torso, reach the arms straight up in the air. We're going right back to that lunge, reaching straight up. So you're out of the woodpecker position into a nice, strong, well-postured lunge stance. And that back ankle is just going to press up and down 5 times. Keep on reaching as high as you can. After you've done 5, you're going to let the arms drop. Go ahead and stand all the way up. And I want to repeat that exact circuit one more time. Right foot forward, right into a woodpecker. Keep on building these patterns. You cannot do this stuff enough. Your body needs to be able to hold these postures well. The weight is driven through the right heel. Your chest is forward. Your spine is very, very strong. If somebody were to put their hand on your lower spine right now, they would feel nothing but muscles, no bones. Open up the chest, spread the hands away from each other. Really wide chest. Bring the arms forward to increase leverage and increase tension on the posterior chain on that right side. Press the right heel into the ground pretty hard here. Hinge just a little bit further and support for 5 seconds. From that position, after 5 seconds, bring the arms back behind you. Open up your chest. Come right back over the hips. Reach the arms straight up in the air. Reach. So you have 5 reaches here. Reach up, try to relax. Reach up, try to relax. Reach up even higher, try to relax. You're constantly pushing yourself during this entire exercise, trying to get your torso to just continuously lengthen. From this position, bring the arms down, going right back into the woodpecker, just hinging that right hip. It's a very basic mechanical movement. That's all that's going on. Once that right heel is holding all of your weight, the right posterior chain is engaged, you're going to bring those arms forward. Stay really strong here. You should be shaking, tired, exhausted. Keep going. From this position, let's pulse that back foot 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. After the 5th one, bring the arms down. Bring the chest back over the hips. Reach the arms straight up in the air as high as you can. If you started at 5'10", you should be 5'10 and a half by the end of this exercise. Reach up as high as possible. Breathe very big into the torso. Expand your rib cage as big as possible. Press up 5 times on that back ankle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring the arms down. Go ahead and stand up. Last round with the left foot. Nice long lunge. Left foot's pressing into the ground, chest is high, stand as strong as you can. Go right into that woodpecker, hinging over the front leg, not allowing that knee to come forward at all. All of the movement occurs at the hip joint where it's supposed to. Reach those arms forward as soon as you feel that lower back tension in the lower back. Pull the chin back, expand the chest really big. Take a big deep breath in. As you exhale, slowly bring the arms back down by your side. Bring the chest back over your hips. You're now in a really strong posture. Reach the arms straight up in the air. And just reach. Push. For 5 seconds, I want you to reach as high as you can, like you can just almost grab whatever it is you're reaching for. Keep going. After those 5 seconds, bring the arms down. Go right back into that woodpecker. Into the left heel, chest up. Left posterior chain is absorbing tension here. Lower back, glute, hamstring. That's what you're looking for. Bring the arms forward. As soon as the arms go forward, I want you to reach just a little bit further into it. Start pulsing 5 times on that back ankle. As you pulse forward, as soon as that back ankle pushes up, that posterior chain should just be holding on as hard as it can, really tight.